Today we're going to be reviewing the Panasonic DP-UB820-K 4K Blu-ray player. Hi, welcome to ZGadgetReview. So you might be thinking, it's 2023, why would you get a Blu-ray player? And the reason is simple. To me, physical media is a lot better than streaming, and also by you owning the media, you don't have to worry about things getting edited and changed from the way they were presented originally. And you also don't have to worry about having to go hunting for that movie if you want to watch it at some point or show it to someone. So to me, physical media is interesting and important because of those reasons. From a technical standpoint, it is much better than streaming, and you don't have to worry about your internet connection, if it's great or not. You always will get a good image out of it. So we have the Panasonic DP-UB820-K Black Blu-ray player 4K. Now this Blu-ray player supports everything that you can think of. It supports Dolby Vision, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, of course, Dolby Atmos. It also includes streaming services, but I wouldn't stream anything out of this Blu-ray player. I think a TV or any other streaming devices are much better than what a Blu-ray player can do for you. So we're going to do an unboxing. What do we have here? We have the manual, and it comes with this cardboard in the back, which is interesting to say the least. We have the remote, and the remote is pretty small. It's not a huge remote, which is nice. So we have the remote there, and so you can see it's probably the size of a cell phone. On the height of the Pixel 7 Pro. So on the side we have your power cable and batteries. So you have batteries for the remote and the power cable. No HDMI cable, it doesn't have the other Blu-ray player. Ain't that pretty? Here we have the menu of the Blu-ray player. So this is what you're going to be greeted with once you turn on the Blu-ray player. Under videos, you can choose whether you want to play it from a disc or a USB stick. Here you have music, same thing, disc or USB stick. Photos, if you have a disc or USB stick again. Then your home network, this is to set up your home network. Under network services is where you have your online streaming services, which there's only 3. We have Netflix, YouTube, and Amazon Video. And then you have the app market for Panasonic, which, as you can see here, allows you to download music services there, some games. Really nothing to, write home about. There's really the 3 apps that you have are the ones that I will stick with. Now let's take a look at the setup. We have the HDMI settings here, and it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Resolution, I have it on auto. 4K output, you can set it to 60 frames per second, 444, 420, or have it off. I have it in that setting, which is what it came on. And we have 24 frames per second on auto, HDMI output mode, auto, HDMI audio output mode, also audio only. You can switch this up because that Blu-ray player has 2 HDMI ports in the back, so you can make a decision if you want to separate sound from video. Now what I did like about this player is that we have Dolby Vision setting on, but it was still playing HDR, which a Sony Blu-ray player cannot do. If you keep the Dolby Vision setting on the Sony Blu-ray player, all content is going to be played on Dolby Vision. It's going to be transformed to Dolby Vision. So the TV is going to read the information as Dolby Vision instead of HDR. Let's take a look at the advanced settings. Here you can go into huge detail, be nitty gritty of what you want. So you have your color modes, your decolor output, HDR color gamut. We have here ACH, FCR conversion, have it on, ALG, PQ conversion is off, HDR TV. Here I really like this because you can choose the type of TV that you're using, or if you're using a projector. So we have OLED TV, which is what I'm using. This is the OLED C2, which I will be doing a video on, so stay tuned for that. We have super high luminance LCD, middle or high luminance LCD, and then we have your basic luminance LCD and projector. So if you had a projector, this is where you will go. And then you can see all this other stuff here. And so here we go, video. Video you can pick if you want a still mode when you pause a video or not, and then you have this seamless play. We have audio here, dynamic range compression, and then a bunch of other settings that you can of course take a look at player. Now of course this is a 3D player as well, so if you have 3D movies and a 3D TV, you'll be able to use it. Pick your language, pick your network, you can pick your ratings if you want to lock people out from watching. And then here's where you have your system where you can make changes to the panel, the front panel, if you want your quick start on and things like that, firmware updates. As part of this review, I'm going to be comparing the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player to the Sony 4K Blu-ray player, the UBPX800M2. And the reason why I'm using this Sony Blu-ray player to compare it to the Panasonic Blu-ray player is because both Blu-ray players are around the same price. They offer similar features, and I will say that this Panasonic Blu-ray player and the Sony Blu-ray player are the more popular Blu-ray players out there, not only because of the features that they offer, but because of the moderate price that they have. Here we have Predator, the movie on DVD, playing on the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player. The reason I'm playing this movie is to show you how the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player upscales a older DVD, and here we can see that it's playing at 720 by 480, and then we can see the rest of the information on the disc. Now I'm doing a comparison with the Sony UBPX800M2, and I'm going to show you how it upscales a DVD on that player. Now we have the same movie, same DVD, same disc playing on the Sony UBPX800M2. And the reason why I'm using this 4K Blu-ray player to show you the movie is because the Sony is a pretty much competitor to the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player. They came out around the same time, and they're pretty much the last Blu-ray players that have come out from these companies that support all the same features. Looking at the still image of the movie, we have the Panasonic portion of the image a little darker than the Sony image. So we see a little more contrast on the Panasonic version of the movie versus the Sony version of the movie. But to me, the Panasonic version looks a little sharper than the Sony version, and so that gives you a little more detail on the movie, even though it's an older movie, than Sony does. We're continuing here with the Blu-ray portion of the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player. Here we have a scene from the movie Oblivion, and as you can see, it's playing at 1920 by 1080p, 24 frames per second. Here we have a scene that transitions between nighttime and daytime to give you an idea of what it looks like when the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player is upscaling a Blu-ray image. Of course, this isn't as old of a movie as the previous one. Again, we have here a movie in HD 1080p, and it is upgrading the image to 4K. And here we have the same scene playing on the Sony 4K Blu-ray player, again to show you how it upscales the image here. And we can see here the details of the information from the disc. Again, this is playing at 1080p, 24 frames per second, and this is being upgraded to 4K. And next we're going to go ahead and compare both scenes to see if we can tell the difference between the Panasonic and the Sony one. So we have a still image of the movie Oblivion, and we can see the difference between the Panasonic and the Sony one. The brighter image that you see is the Sony Blu-ray player, and the darker image is the Panasonic Blu-ray player. Now I will say that we can see a little more contrast in the sky here. It's not as overblown as it is on the Sony. You could argue also that the brighter image looks nicer, but to me it feels like it loses a little bit of detail on the sky portion of the image. Here we have another still of the movie, and this time we can see how the difference in contrast gives you more detail in the room, gives you more detail in her face. And again, the image that is the darkest is the Panasonic Blu-ray player, and the lighter one is the Sony Blu-ray player, both 4K. In this next still, we have a close-up of the face, so you can see how we lose a little bit of detail on her face. She has a little bit of freckles on her cheek, and those freckles kind of disappear on the Sony one, and you can see them better on the Panasonic Blu-ray player, which again, to me, lets us know that you're going to get a better image from the Panasonic. We finally made it to the 4K Blu-rays, and this is a 4K HDR Kong Skull Island 4K HDR, so you can see the information there, and you get more information out of the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player because it also shows you what the disc is mastered to when it comes to the metadata. So we have here what the media is in maximum light level, maximum frame average light level, and what the HDMI video output is. And so we get this extra information here from the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player. The information that we get from the Sony is not as detailed, but as you can see here, this is also playing in 4K HDR. Here we have the stills from Kong Skull Island, and here I'm not noticing a big difference between both Blu-ray players. To me, it looks pretty equal. Like you see the line there, and I know that you cannot tell, but right now the image is split in half and it looks exactly the same to me. Here we have another still of the movie, and as you can see, there's not a big difference between either one. So it looks like when it comes to HDR, both Blu-ray players show the image equally well. Here we have John Wick, and it's playing on Dolby Vision on the Panasonic Blu-ray player. You can see here the information from the disc. Now it doesn't display the HDMI video out information, but we do have what the media is supposed to show. And then we have that Sony Blu-ray player, and as always, information is limited based on what we can see here. Here we have an image of the movie of Keanu Reeves running through the rain, and here we can see that there isn't a big difference between what we're seeing from the Panasonic Blu-ray player and what we're seeing from the Sony Blu-ray player. I will say that it's pretty even, just like on the HDR presentation. Now here we have a scene of 2001 A Space Odyssey, and this is the scene where we're in the middle of space. As you can see, there's some difference between how bright the image is coming from the Panasonic Dolby Vision presentation versus the Sony Dolby Vision presentation. And then here we have an image of the astronaut, and he has the bright lights on his face. And for some reason on that scene, we don't see that big of a difference between what we see between both players. So what I'm assuming that is happening here is that you're getting the image, of course, based on the information that we're getting from the disc. And depending on how the metadata on the disc is done is how it is choosing how bright the scene should be on each player. As you can see, the Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player offers a lot of features that allows you to tweak what the image is going to look like, what the player is going to output to your TV. One of the best features to me is also the fact that you are able to pick the type of screen that you're using with the Blu-ray player, making sure that you're going to get the best image out of the player. So because of how you can tweak the output of the image on the Blu-ray player, if I was to pick between the Sony and the Panasonic, I will go with the Panasonic one. And the reason is because it is chock full of features to be able to tweak depending on what it is that you're using to watch content on. Now, the Sony isn't a bad player. It is a good player, but it just doesn't have as many features that you can tweak. It doesn't have as much detail when it comes to features, and so because of that reason, it's not as good as the Panasonic one. So if you're in the market for a 4K Blu-ray player, you cannot go wrong with the Panasonic UB820-K. Are you in the market for a 4K Blu-ray player? Do you have any questions or any comments about the review, something that I might have not covered? Let me know in the comment section. That is it for me. Go ahead and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, it really helps the channel. I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm very excited to hit that milestone, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always, hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we have new videos. And thank you very much for watching.